Welcome back. Right now we are going to create the ERD, or the entity relation diagram, which is actually basically it's the plan of the database tables and the relationship between those tables, in addition to the attributes or the columns for each one. Basically, to follow up with this video, you can use whatever you want. Maybe you can follow with the paper and or whiteboard. For the tool I'm using right now, called Visual Paradigm Community Edition, it's basically one of my favorites. It's available online via web portal or this application for Windows. It's totally free, not for commercial use. I will mention the link in the description box below. And but yeah, you can follow with everything you want. Or maybe you don't need to follow, you can just understand the concept or prepare the questions if you have, and yeah, that's enough. So basically, this is the welcome page of the application. I will click on New ERD, like that. I will choose blank, click Next, because here there are some predefined templates that helps you to get started with a set of database, for example, online photo album, movie rental, and other set of examples. So we'll choose blank, click Next. Let's give it a name. We'll call it TicketsBasket ERD. Now let's click OK. Okay, that's good. This is the canvas that we are going to use, and those are all the, let's say, the tools or the diagrams available for us. So right now, we will start first with the first table called User Profile, which will include User Profile. I will zoom in a little bit, like that. Okay, basically this table is going to contain the user information. Yeah, the user will going to register via the Azure Active Directory, but we will set some of those information here, so it's going to be easier to retrieve rather than making a call via the Microsoft Graph API each time to retrieve the user info. And we will set the determinator if this one is an organizer or it's a normal user account, and yeah, some other info. So basically, let's start defining the attributes. The first one is ID. It is varchar 40. Then we have first name. It's varchar 25. Last name, varchar 25 as well. Then we have the email, varchar 25. We have the country, and city. Here we have the is organizer. This is the flag that's going to indicate that if this is going to be a business account or organizer or normal user, bet, which means 0, 1 or true false. Here we have, for example, we can define address and as many properties as you want related to the user profile. I'm not going to add those details because this is a set of routine job. We want to concentrate on the business and the logic behind the things. And then I'm going to add created on, which is going to be a date. Okay, so this is going to be enough for this table. You can add as many properties as you want, but those what we are going to concentrate on. Okay, that's good. This is our first table right now. Now the second one, which is going to be the events. Yeah, this one is user profiles. Okay, so let's start defining the properties as well. Varchar 40 was going to be GUID, then the title of the event. 80, we have the description. It's going to be this one, going to be long because he can type as much as the user wants. Let's set it to 1000, maybe it needs more, but yeah, that's enough for now. We have created on, going to be date, and cover image, URL, varchar, like this. Tickets count, which is the limit of those, is going to be integer, the capacity, let's say. It could be the capacity as well instead of tickets count. And yeah, we have as well the location. It's going to be varchar 56 like this. Okay. And let's have the number of views, which is going to be integer as well. Yeah, this is enough for as a normal attributes or basic attributes for the event. We still have the relationship, which is the user profile ID, varchar 40. This one is going to be the foreign key for this table. So basically, to add the relationship, we will choose from here one-to-many. Click on this, then click on this table, drag to this one, and yeah. So this one is a one-to-many relationship. Each user profile, or let's say each organizer, can have many events under his or her account. That's great. Right now, let's add another table called EventTags, which basically it's going to be a very simple table. This one is going to contain just the name of the tags. Also, the relationship is going to be one-to-many. Each event will have multiple tags, and those tags we're going to define, let's say, the type of this event. Let's say that there is an event related to .NET. It's a conference, so the tag is going to be .NET, programming, software engineering, science. So this is going to help us identify what the user likes and don't like, so this way we can target them correctly with events. So basically, this one is going to be a very simple table, ID, varchar 40. Then we have the name of the tag, and at the end we have event ID, which is a foreign key for the events table. And again, it's one-to-many relationship, like that. Great. Another table we have related to the event, which is basically the event images. This one is the cover image that's going to be shown on the ticket of the event and on the cover of the events page. But basically, event image is going to be the gallery, because there's going to be a set of situated images for each event related to it. So it's also going to be a very simple table, like that. Image URL. And we have as well thumb URL. And basically what this one is, it's a smaller version of the image URL. For example, if the organizer uploads images, HD images or 4K images with high resolution and big sizes, for example, each image is about 2-3 megabytes, maybe 5 megabytes. So, and there is 10 images, we won't load those images to the main UI. That's going to make the page very slow. In addition to this, it will consume a big amount of traffic from the client provider or the internet connection, especially if they are using the mobile phone to check this, or they are using the network of the mobile. It's going to take too much. If we have 10 images, each image is 2 megabytes, so to load this page is going to be 20 mega. It's going to take too much time, in addition to too much data traffic. So to do this, we can minimize this image and put it in the thumb URL. So this image is going to be few kilobytes. When the user clicks on this image, it's going to be big and load the original one. And we will resize this image using the Azure functions. So it's going to be a good example to learn how to deal with images, and in addition to this, how to deal with Azure functions. So this function is going to be run when a new image being uploaded to the Azure blob, and after that, resize it and store it then. Great. Again, the relationship is one-to-many, like that. That's good. Right now, we have the payments or the tickets. Ticket, each user can buy tickets for multiple events, and each event tickets could be sold for multiple users. So the relationship here is many-to-many. So basically, this table is going to be very simple. ID, varchar 40, and we have, for example, the barcode. We will give it a good number, not like this ID. It's going to be global unique identifier. What the barcode is going to be, for example, 10 digits. So this is going to help us validate this ticket when the user tries to get into the event or the conference location. Then what we have is discount. It's going to be integer. If there is any discount for this user, and created on, it's going to be date. We have a place, for example, the number of the chair or the number of the stand if it's a stadium or something like this. So okay, let's make it like this. If it's a long address within the place of that event. What also we need is the user profile ID, which bought this ticket, and the event ID, which is basically related to this one. Okay, for now, I think this is, yeah, we still need final price. Let's add final price. It's going to be decimal 18.2, like this. So because if there is a specific discount here, it's going to be applied and the final price will be calculated. And in this case, we forgot here to add the price of the ticket for all of this for each event. So the relationship is going to be one-to-many here, and it's going to be one-to-many here as well. Each user can buy multiple tickets, and each event could have multiple tickets sold. So that's great. Somehow we can cover all the functions we want. We still have three main things. The first one called wishlist, which basically each user add or shortlist some events, add them to that wishlist so he can get back to them later. And basically this table is going to be also very simple, and it's going to contain ID 40 and the event ID, user profile ID, and created on date. So basically each user can click on multiple events, add to wishlist, add to wishlist, add to wishlist. And again, the relationship between events and user profiles for the wishlist is going to be many-to-many, because each user can add multiple events to the wishlist, and each event could be added to the wishlist by multiple users. And again, it's the same. The relationship is going to be like this. One-to-many from this side and one-to-many from this side. Okay. That's great. This is the ticket, this is the wish list. We still have another one called likes. Yeah, because the likes we will use when the user likes a specific event. We are going to use this to identify that, hey, this user likes this set of tags. For example, the user first liked a .NET conference, specific conference related to .NET event, then he liked a specific event related to C++. So in this case, hey, we know that this user is interested in the conferences related to programming and targeted these tags. So for this reason, we are going to store them here, and they are going to be exactly like the wish list. also the user and the event, the next is going to be many-to-many. Each user can like multiple event, and each event could be liked by multiple users. So basically, it's going to be like other tables. And we have event ID, varchar 40. We have user profile ID, and we have like it on, let's call it like it on. Yeah, that's great. Again, this one is going to be just the same. Right now, the last table we still need to create, which is the job applications. It's going to be pretty simple, but the relationship here is going to be within this table. So let's create it here, call it job applications. So basically, it's going to contain the ID and the description and position. Basically, it's going to be 50 is enough, and the CV URL. Let's add status here. Okay, so it's going to be simple, but basically the job applications process is going to be the organizer can receive emails, while users can apply for jobs for a specific organizer. They can submit their CVs for a specific position. So the relationship here is going to be many-to-many between the same table. Each organizer can receive multiple job applications and from users, and each user can send multiple job applications for other organizers. So basically, here it's going to be the applied user ID, it's going to be varchar 40, and the organizer ID, varchar 40 as well. This is how it will look like. It's going to be one-to-many. The normal user had applied user ID multiple ones, and basically the organizer could receive multiple job applications in the organizer ID. We'll see how we can simulate this in the models in C# within the next video. So basically, this is our great ERD. Yeah, it's not that complicated, but it covers everything we want to help you get started with this course. Now in the next video, we are going to create a new .NET Standard project, install Entity Framework, and start simulate all what we have done within this session in C# model and classes. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions or any suggestion to update this diagram, you can post that in the comments below in the comments section. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button to help us continue with more and more things. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.